Hello, Julie here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be doing a project using products I got from Benecreat. I'll put a link in the description box below, and if you use my link you will get a 10% discount off of anything you buy on your whole order, not just the things that I'm showing you. But I will put links to the specific things that I'm using. One of those is this die, and I reckon this is really great value. So you get two dies like that, and when you die cut them, they don't actually cut the bottom. So I have cut that with my scissors, so it comes like that. And so I've left that like that so you can see how it actually comes. So that is the same die cut that way, and then I turned around and cut it that way. So to use these I can cut them through there. I can also just cut off particular stems and use those little flowers. That is one of them, so you can see that's exactly the same one. And this is the other one. Now you can also colour these if you want to. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with mine, but I've cut two sets of each one for those. And I also got this die. Where did I put the packet for that? Over there. I also got this die, which is a Polaroid frame. Now there's two frames in there, and I'll show them to you. This is the standard frame. And then this one is the other, that's that frame there. Okay, so you can see that there's a lot of detail cut out of this one. So you can layer one over the other like so to make your Polaroid frame. So I've cut a couple of those as well. And I've cut them out of pattern paper from a digital kit. And I've also cut another set from book paper. And I thought it might be nice to just cover that with book paper, like so. I haven't cut the pattern out of that one because when I did cut the pattern out of the book page, it was way too thin. And actually the pattern part all ripped as I was trying to get it out of the die, because this paper is very, very fine. So that's what I have pre-prepared. So I thought that I would go, and of course I've got all these bits and pieces here that are the square pieces or the offcuts from cutting these out. So I thought that firstly I might I'm going to put some acetate in these. So I've got some acetate here, and I'll put a link to this in the description box as well. This doesn't come from Benecreat, this one comes from scrapbook.com, and I'll put a link to everything so you don't have to worry about any of that. So I need my trimmer. Here we go. So the opening is, if I cut my acetate at 2 3/4 by 3, I haven't really got enough room on here. I've got way too much stuff sitting up here. Let's see if I can free up a bit of space. So now, of course, I've forgotten the measurement. Two 3/4. Well, 2 3/4 square should do it. 2 3/4 square. Two and 3/4. This one. You can get different thicknesses of acetate, so just have a bit of a check around and see what thickness you prefer. This is a fairly light one. Okay, let's just go with that for the moment. So, here's our frame, and I'm going to attach that to start with. So I'm just going to use my art glitter glue, and I'm going to run a thin bead around here. Looks like I need to just clean that out a little bit. It has been very hot here, so I don't know whether that affects this glue or not. Right, so I'm just wiping the glue outwards, trying to avoid getting glue on the acetate like I have there. And then I'm going to attach one of these. Now this one, once again, is printed on 80 GSM paper, and I found that was a bit dodgy getting out of the die as well. Mind you, I did run these through the die twice, through the die cutting machine twice, and I'm guessing that I really don't need to do that because they were so tightly wedged into the die, made it very tricky. I'm just trying to get as much coverage on this as I can without going overboard, because once again I don't want to cover my acetate with glue. But this has got a lot of curly bits on it, so I do want to make sure I get a pretty good stick with all those little fiddly bits. Sorry if you can hear that noise in the background. My husband is out the back doing something with his air compressor, cleaning something out, I would say. So if you can hear that, I'm sorry. He won't probably be out there for much longer. Okay. I did see a few little pieces that I could poke out. Right, so let's put this down. I'm going to get a wipe, a baby wipe, to try and keep my hands not wet with glue. And just tap that down like so. What have we got there? We've got a little curly cue that's not stuck properly. Just press down like so. Okay. Now we can go ahead and put another one on the back, and we can have it double-sided. And this is the one that I said was not, this was the thin one that got a little bit torn as I was taking it out of the die. Yeah, so I would definitely recommend that you use a thicker cardstock for cutting this decorative frame. I'm just dabbing that down. Wiping the glue off. The glue might be on the other side. Okay, so now this is actually the side that's got the edge of the acetate on it, and being clear like that, you can't see it, so that's lucky. Now, I also have some of these floral stickers, and these come in a pack, and I think you get, I think it's about 18 sheets of these in a pack. And once again, a really reasonable price. I can't remember how much they were, but look at them. Probably can't see them all that well on the brown background, but you've got such choice. I'm looking for one to put on here, maybe something a little bigger, maybe that. That one's a nice one, so I'll put that one aside. And I think that one might be alright too. I don't know whether you can see it or not, but they've got like gold on them as well. They've got a gold outline, so one's probably a little bit too small. So you get all of these in one pack. That's a nice one. Put that up there as a possibility. I like the tulips. I'm going to end up with too many possibilities, aren't I? It's always the same. Always the same. Alternatively, of course, I could use one of the flowers from here. You know, I could cut off a few of those and put those on there, like so. What about that one? Okay, so let's have a look. So we've got, well, that one too could be good. And the butterfly. What about if I put that in the butterfly? Or perhaps a little bit smaller butterfly. I think I like the blue because of the colouring of that paper there. I think I'm going to go for the blue. So next best trick is to get it off of here, which is not always my best thing to do. Put that on there. And put our little butterfly. So, should we use this butterfly? Well, we've got a yellow butterfly there. A yellow one there. I think I'll go for the green one. I'll put that so that it overlaps the frame like that. Just burnish that down so that we know we've got a really good stick. Okay, now I'm going to take my ink and ink around the edge. I probably should have inked around the inside of the frame before I stuck my acetate on. Okay, and I've got a gold one. So I might just put some little gold dots, just 3 little gold dots there, and maybe in the centres of the flowers. The alternative, actually what I might do when I'm doing the book page ones, I might put brads up in those corners. Okay, so that is our first Polaroid slide. Now, I've got this one and I thought I might do this one with the book page. Now, before I do anything, I'm going to ink around the insides. I might put one on each side of this. So let's ink around here. Okay, so let's stick these in place. I'll stick this one side down, then I'll put the acetate on the other side, and then I'll stick the book page on top of the acetate, which will hide the edges of the acetate. Right, now acetate on this side. Yeah, so I want to keep that glue pretty close to the edge. Probably would have been a bit better if I did make the acetate a little bit bigger. Right, so now for this one I thought I might use some of this. I might cut that off about there. Pop that in there, like so. So I'm going to cut this down a little bit lower. So that sits down in there like that. Do I need ink around that, do you think? I'm going to cut that off of there. Just takes a bit of that starkness off, doesn't it? So it's a bit fiddly with the glue, and to be honest, if I had a thought about it, I would have backed this onto like a sheet of double-sided adhesive before I die cut it, which I must make a note and put in with the die to do that in future. Then you just have to peel the backing off and attach it to whatever you're going to attach it to. Using glue like this is fiddly and messy, especially when you're working with acetate. You'll end up with acetate all over everything, I'm assuming I will. So I'm going to pop that down on there and just tap them into place. Why isn't that bit sticking? Don't tell me I didn't get any glue behind it. No, I did not. Like I completely missed that flower altogether. Okay, so we could also stick one on the back to cover that, so that looks just the same on the back and the front. Okay, so I don't know how it happened, but somehow I lost some footage, and what I've ended up doing is sticking the same piece on the back and the front of that one, and I've inked around the edges of both pieces. So now I am going to do another one, and I thought this time I would just do a plain one. So first of all, I suppose I better ink around the insides of my frame. So how is everybody? I hope they're all well. I am good. Everything is pretty normal here. Now I've cut these acetate pieces a little bit bigger so that they're not going to be as hard to keep them clean, hopefully. Fingers crossed. So now I'm going to stick this on, and to do that I found last time it was a lot easier to put the glue on this part and then stick that book page on the top of it, because as I said before, that book page is pretty flimsy and fragile. So let's turn that over so it's on the right side. And I reckon there's a good chance that I will tear this, getting it into position. There we go. be very, very careful sticking that down. Okay, so that is now my Polaroid frame. Just plain on the front. I'm going to embellish that when I embellish my other ones. So I'll put that over there ready to be embellished. And now with this one, I thought I would put the pattern paper on the front and the book page on the back. Now let's see if I can manage to get, I should probably ink both sides, then it won't be a problem, will it? So there we go. I don't know whether I mentioned it before or not, but this book page has been coffee dyed. So you can create these, you know, use your pattern paper from your journal that you're creating or whatever you like so that they blend in. I'm just doing mine in neutral tonings so that they'll basically go with anything. I've got a fairly neutral sort of blend there, but you could have more striking blends. You know, you could have a much darker top layer than your bottom layer so that it stands out a lot more. So there we have that one. So we've got 4 here. Oh, well, this one's bending up so much. So this one, the 3 dots I put there, 2 of them sort of blended together, so I joined them all together so that it didn't look too weird. Now I'm going to think about what I'm going to embellish these with, and when I've got some things picked out, I'll come back. Okay, so I have an assortment of things out here now to embellish my Polaroids with, and I've got some labels here, and I thought I might add perhaps a little label and maybe a little bit of cheesecloth. Not too big, I don't need a big piece on these tiny little frames. And just about like that. Just something I can put behind that label so it just pokes out a little bit. So perhaps something like that, something like that. And I've got these little, this little bit of lace here. It's got some small flowers on it, so I thought maybe I could put them on there. So I don't know whether I want to colour them a bit with the vintage photo. I might just run over them lightly with that, just to take that stark whiteness off. So just something like that on there, I think. So let's go ahead and do that. So this one down first. So you can just put these in your journals, you know, in a pocket, or you could use them as a tuck spot. You could even use them as a pocket, I guess. And stick down 3 sides and put a tag in behind the acetate. That would look quite nice too, wouldn't it? Probably should have used my Fabric for that, but I know that art glitter glue works well. So that's that one. So I think that's enough on there. Now this one here, I've got this little label. I've got a little charm that I made. I've got a video showing how I made these charms. This actually had this pearl on it as well, but I thought that was a bit too much for this, so I took the pearl off, and I'm going to attach that on there. but I'm going to add a little bit of colour by using a label. I'm using these Tim Holtz tiny labels for this, but I think I want something a little bit bigger than that, something like more like this, something with a bit of colour. So these are from Paper Inspirations Lots of Labels kit, and a bit of red on that, like that. I think that just helps that stand out a little bit. So let's use that now. I can see that this needs to be trimmed a little bit on the corners. Just take those angles off. And ink around the edge. Until I know what I'm going to use the labels for, I'm only going to decorate one side. If I decide to put them in a pocket, well then I'll do something on the other side as well. But if I decide to use them as a pocket, well then I won't need any further decoration. So now let's, this was just a normal plain white shipping, you know, the little shipping tags that you get. Pricing labels they're probably called, and I ran over that with my vintage photo. So we've got our little red in our label, which looks to be a bit crooked. There's not much I can do about that at this point in time. And our little dangle on the tag, on the thing. This one here, let's have a look at this one. What are we going to put on here? I was thinking I could, I've got some flowers over there, so perhaps if I had, yeah, I don't want to cover the whole floral pattern up. I wouldn't mind if that did sort of overlap that window a little. So let's find a bit bigger label. That, or what about something like that? Not too, no. Okay, so that can go on there, and I've still got this little piece of cheesecloth. That's probably too small. I've got a bit of lace here. Do I want to use some lace under there? Let's cut some of that off. Bit of that down there. I don't know why that grey's on there. I'm going to cut that off. I think it's supposed to be like a drop shadow, but in this case I don't really need that. Now, let's have a look what flowers we've got in here. That looks pretty, doesn't it? Same sort of thing. Oh, I've got this purplish one, but that's a bit too big, I think. maybe that size, I think. Or you do this, try one thing, try the next thing, try every different thing, and come back to the first thing you started with. I don't know how many times I've done that. No, I think I like the pink. So pink it is. Okay, lace first. Run a row of lace across there, a row of glue I mean, across there, and stick the lace to it. I'm letting that hang over the edge, I'm happy with that. Now we can add this label. And I want that to poke up above the window. And also hold that end of the lace in place. And then I'm going to ink around the edge of this one. I think I fussy cut these from a Uniquely Creative pattern paper range. And I'm going to pop that down there. Like that. Ink around the outside. Okay, now this one, what are we going to do here? I was thinking that I could do some of these, like just add a bit of colour to these. What have we got going on there? Let's, oh, how much do we need? Probably only to there. Something like that. And go across there like so. And then if I wanted to, I can do the same on the back when I come to do that. Now, to colour these, I was thinking I would use a water brush and my Distress inks. So I'm going to start with my Bundled Sage, which is my lightest green. And this is a water brush, so it's already got the water in it. I'm just going to do the stems and the bottom section. Now this is just cardstock, so it's soaking the water up pretty quickly. So I don't know whether you ever colour your bits and pieces using your inks, but I quite enjoy it. It's pretty relaxing. Okay, now I've got some peeled paint here. I'm going to add some of that. So I'm going to do the same thing with the colour of the flowers. So I'll probably just put this on fast forward, or maybe even cut it right out. because I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to use 2, maybe even 3 colours. All of the flowers are going to be the same colour. I was thinking I might do them in the yellows and oranges to sort of blend in with the cream coloured cardstock that I've used. So yeah, that's my plan. So I'll start talking to you again at the end of the colouring. Okay, so what did I use on there? I used fossilised amber and wild honey, I think. They were the 2 I used. Okay, so now I can attach those to my, they look cute on there, don't they? Okay, so now I want to put something down here, and I've got some of this. Should I wrap some of this around it, do you think? This is some coffee dyed seam binding. Could wrap that around there a couple of times. Actually, put that out the front so I can tie a bow. Let's see about tying a bow. Or a knot. Tie a knot because I'm not that great at bows. Yep. Get some scissors and cut that off. Do you like that with that? Yes, I do. I think that's nice. So that's what I'm going to do. The paint on this, or the ink on this, is not really dry, so need to be a little careful. I'm going part of the way up the stem, but not right up to the top. I'm hoping that I'll stay below the acetate line, but looks like I'm not going to. Move that along a bit and pat that into place. Actually, I think I will put a little dab of glue behind each of these flowers and use this one as a pocket, because I don't want to run the risk of those little flowers getting broken off. Which is quite a possibility. There we go. Okay, now where's my little bit of ribbon? Here we go. So I'm going to run a bead of glue. Let's pull that off, whatever it is. A bit of fluff. Sticking to my sticky fingers. I run a bead of glue across there so that my ribbon sticks to it. Probably don't need all of this, but just turn that over, and I would like it to double up. Put some sticky tape on there. So let's see if we can get it to wrap around twice. Right. Should have stuck it on the front. So put a bead of glue on the front. Stick that centre bit there. Wrap it around the back. To glue that down. I want it to be reasonably flat, because if I'm going to use this for a pocket, then we can come back around here, tie our knot. Okay, let's cut that daggy end off, like so. Okay, I've got a bit of glue up there. Okay, now if I'm going to use this for a pocket, I'm going to stick a piece of washi tape over that, so that when I put something in the pocket, it doesn't get caught. So I need a reasonably wide washi. Here's one. You know how you get some of those containers of washi where you're not that keen on all of them. Well, now's the chance to use up the bits you're not that keen on. I mean, not that I don't like this one's quite nice, but I just need a wider one. So I'm going to cut that off. And I'm going to add some glue to it, because I don't want it dislodging. Especially at the top. I'm going to stick that over that, so that when something goes in that pocket from the back, it will slide in smoothly. There we go. I can trim that off there now. Very good. Okay. Now, I was also thinking that I've got a new product that I wanted to try, and it's the, the gold rub-on thing, this metallic gilding polish. So I think I might. Oh, dear me. Just run around the edges of this with this gold to give it a little bit of a gold touch. I've got way too much on my finger there. It's nice. Oops, look at it, I've got it all over my desk already. I don't know whether that... Right, let's get it off my fingers. And I might do that on the others as well. So I'm not sure what happened with my camera. I still had room on my memory card and my battery was not flat, so I don't know why it stopped recording, but anyway. I'm just going to show you now the finished items. I went around the edge of each of them with the gold gilding wax, and so this is our one we've used the little stickers on. We've added the label, a bit of cheesecloth, and those little floral flower, what do you call them, embroidered flowers, and that was that one. This one we have the die cut flowers, and we've just inked those, so we've left them neutral. We've gone around the edge with the gold, we've added a label, and we've added a little tag with a dangle on it, and I will put the video for the making those dangles in the description box. We have done this one, which is the plainest one of them all. We've left the, well, we've added the book paper to the back of it, but now we've decided to use this just as a pocket, so we won't see that. And we've left this outside frame just normal cardstock colour. We've added the flowers from this same die cut, but we've coloured them with distress ink, and we've added some ribbon, and we've put some washi tape over the back at the ribbon so that when we put something in our pocket it's not going to catch on it. And this one we have got the decorative layer on top of the frame. Then we've added some lace and a label and a little floral fussy cut. And once again we've got the gold around the edge. So that's my video for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, I'd love it if you would leave me a thumbs up and a comment. It makes a big difference to my channel. And if you're not already a subscriber, if you could subscribe, if you enjoyed my video, that is, that would be terrific too. So anyway, thank you for joining me today, and I hope you can join me for my next video. Okay, bye.